So what do we want to talk about today? We're just going to touch on what is actually a self-managed super fund. I'll just ask the question, how many people in the crowd actually have a self-managed super fund? Wow, so I'm preaching to the converted, aren't I? Trustees are not required to take out insurance on the lives of fund members, but they're required to consider the need for insurance by those fund members. I guess this applies to trust members that are coming up to the age of 65 but still have liabilities, still paying off their house. This consideration to have life insurance forms part of the investment strategy. So when the auditor, each year the auditor has to review the investment strategy, they also have to review within that investment strategy that has been consideration to having insurance in the fund and the reasons why the trustees have decided either to have insurance in the fund or not to have insurance in the fund. Assets of a super fund must be kept separate from your personal assets. You cannot mix, you cannot use the super fund money to go and buy the shopping. Okay? When you sell the property, if you're 10 years out from retirement, there may be no capital gains tax on the sale of the property, assuming the property goes up in value, or the amount of tax you pay might be significantly reduced. You've got to weigh that up with the complexity of having the structure in place. And obviously, you're putting a lot of your eggs into one basket or one asset because these things are quite lumpy by nature. However, you can do this structure actually with shares as well, or using a managed fund or a separately managed account or exchange traded fund. And the other thing, one thing you should take out of that strategy is, and I said this last time I was here, and it's a very popular strategy, and if you get anything out of today, once again, you might want to listen to this one, because if you've got money outside of super again that's being taxed at a higher marginal tax rate, and you can't get money into super because of your age, because you may be over 75 years of age, or you may be over 65 and not able to pass the work test, you can lend your money, you can lend that money to your super fund. So thereby transferring the tax rate from whatever it is, if it's above 15%, that's all it needs to be, into your super fund that may be paying 15% or less tax. So let's give you an example. I'm a wealthy trustee. I've got $1 million sitting outside of my fund. I'm paying tax at 40 of the highest marginal tax rate, so it's 50%. If I transfer that capital into my super fund by using limited recourse borrowing arrangement, and I invest it in a portfolio of Australian shares, fully franked Australian shares, not only do I save the tax on that earnings, I pick up the imputation credits. And I pay no tax on the imputation credits. So I get it all back. So I've not only saved myself 50% tax on the earnings on that million outside the fund, but I've just picked up no tax, or saved that tax, but I've picked up the value of the imputation credits in the fund. How good is that? It's amazing. And I'm not sure whether you get anything out of that. It's a very good strategy. And it may not be around for too much longer. It was probably going to get knocked out in the budget, but they did it. So it's probably going to get knocked out at some point. Does anyone know what that means? Exempt percentage means if you earn $100,000 of income in your fund, and your income is 50% exempt, you only get taxed on the 50,000, not 100,000. So there needs to be some. If you're all in pension mode, if both members are in pension mode, then there's no need to get an actuarial certificate. But they do check that. They do check that you've made the minimum pension payment. So hopefully all of you yesterday, or in the last few weeks, would have been in contact with your accountants, or you would have been working it out yourself, you would have been looking at the pension standards, you would have been making sure that you made that minimum pension payment. Because if you don't make that minimum pension payment, what happens? The fund goes back to accumulation mode and you end up paying tax on the earnings for that member's balance. Okay, that's why I always like to have a number of pensions in our super funds. Instead of having like one pension per member, we'll have a number of them in case we miss one of the minimum pension payments. So all that means is that we've missed the exemption on that one pension balance. So if we compare operating a self-funding super fund with operating a retail fund. So let's have a look at a retail fund. You've got to pay the trustee, so if it's an AMP fund, for instance, you're paying for the AMP trustee, you're probably paying an advisor fee, and you're paying an administration fee. So you've got a trustee fee, an advisor fee, and you've got a management expense ratio on the various investments that you've invested in through that structure. So you're looking at about a cost of 2%. Some of them are 2.5, have come down a little bit. Whereas in your self-managed super fund, the average cost I reckon is about 0.5%. 0.5% is a big difference. And that's having an accountant, your auditor, and even investment advice, you still can get it down that low.